Hello Internet, my name is Andrew Eder, and welcome to yet another episode of Film Editorials. I say yet again because earlier this week I did a review on Jack Ryan, which you should check out by clicking, here, on this side of the screen. Andrew, 2 videos in 1 week, what are you, a madman? Apparently yes. Anyway, it is 11 degrees outside today, so I figured I'd stay inside and talk about Disney's animated feature, Frozen. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, Andrew, this movie came out months ago, why are you reviewing it in January? Well, hypothetical question asker, there are 2 reasons. One, it's still in the movie theaters and it's doing pretty well considering how long it's been out. But it's not going to be out for much longer. I figure that once the Lego movie comes out, it's going to finally push Frozen out of the theaters. So the next 2 weeks are kind of the last chance for the 8 of you out there who haven't seen the movie yet to go and see it. The other reason is because it's award season. It's already won Golden Globe for Best Animated Picture, and it's nominated for Best Animated Picture at the Oscars, and for Best Original Song at the Oscars for Let It Go. So, it's still relevant. Give me a break. Frozen is the story of 2 sisters, Princess Elsa and Princess Anna. Elsa happens to have ice powers, so she can control and create ice and snow and other cold weather phenomenon, where Anna is pretty much totally regular girl. After a couple accidents early on in their lives, Elsa figures the best way to keep herself and her family and her subjects safe is to hide her ice powers, and on the day of her coronation as queen, when her ice powers come out by accident, she decides to go into isolation, but not before setting the kingdom into a state of permanent winter. Anna knows that this is not true to what her sister is actually like, so she goes on a quest to save Anna from herself and bring her back to society, and hopefully get rid of the permanent winter in the process. Along the way, she runs into a friendly ice vendor and his reindeer, and a magical talking snowman. If you've been living near or under a rock for the past 3 months, you'll be surprised to learn that this movie's been doing really well, and for good reason. It's a good movie. It's really enjoyable, the songs are nice, it's a sweet message, the snowman is hilarious. I thought he was going to be annoying. I was expecting to be annoyed by him going into the movie, but I was really surprised that he wasn't. He's just a sweet, innocent character who likes to give warm hugs, according to him. As you would expect from a Disney movie, the animation is top of the line. My favorite scene, and I'm pretty sure just about everyone who's seen the movie favorite scene, is when Elsa builds her ice castle. One, it's got a great song in it, the song that's nominated for an Academy Award, that one, and she's building a giant ice castle with her mind, and so that's just, I want to say really cool, but I also want to avoid the pun. So let's just go with really awesome. Now there's a lot of people who would say this movie is amazing and fantastic and just about perfect. I'm not so enthusiastic about it. It's good, don't get me wrong, but it's not my favorite movie ever. It's not the best animated movie of all time. And I feel that way for 2 reasons. The first is it doesn't feel quite tight enough. There are holes and there are gaps, not so much in the story, but in the backstory. There are ways that I feel like they could have tightened it to make all the pieces really, really fit together. It's not a great metaphor, but it's like Lego blocks when you stick together. They're not stuck together tight enough and you can still see through the holes. That's what this movie feels like at some points. Like Kristoff, the ice vendor. He talks about how like he's been ostracized from society. You never see that. It's just kind of these lines he gets where he'd rather hang out with his reindeer than with people. But we see him early on in the movie and there's no sense that he's left out. It's just, I don't know where they were going with it, it's just kind of there, and it doesn't really fit into the rest of the story. Similarly, the fate of Anna and Elsa's parents at the beginning of the movie, the time frame there is, it's not that it's wrong, it makes perfect sense logically. The emotional aspects of that part of the story would really be enhanced by events happening closer together. The second reason why I'm not completely in love with this movie is because, and I feel like a broken record saying this because I talk about this in a lot of these videos, it's the bad guy. Now, for people who haven't seen the movie, at this point I am going to be talking about spoilers, so you might want to skip ahead in the video. But the people who have seen this movie, stay with me and we can talk about this in the comments if you agree with me, or if you don't agree with me, that'd be interesting too. For the first 2/3 of the movie, there is no villain, really, in this movie. Really, it's just accidents and then people reacting to those accidents and unfortunate events in ways that just cause problems with other characters. Elsa runs away. She's not a villain. She's not intentionally freezing the kingdom over and trying to, destroy the kingdom through frost and whatever. It just happens. That was fine. I was actually really okay with that idea. I thought it was a really interesting approach, especially from Disney, which is often maligned for having, this guy's the villain, this guy's a good guy, everybody's happy. That's not what they were going for with Frozen. It was everyone's kind of a good guy, but once it shifts from Act 2 to Act 3, and suddenly we find ourselves with a stereotypical villain, it's just totally out of left field. That character completely changes. He was this nice guy before, and now he's this dastardly, devious guy. Where did that come from? There's no precedent for it in the story. There's no breadcrumbs of his villainy. It's just, all of a sudden, whoop, now we've got ourselves a bad guy. Hooray? I wish they had kept with the no bad guy scenario. I think that would have been a lot more interesting. So to summarize, Frozen is definitely a good movie. I'm glad it's doing well. I just feel it could have been tightened up a little bit. There were some elements that were loose and should have been more secure so that all the pieces fit together, and I was not a fan of the sudden shift in villains. If you haven't seen it, you probably should. There's no reason not to. It's a fun movie. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like Olaf the Snowman, and the songs will stick in your head. That's all for today's video. Please go ahead and leave me a comment down below with what you thought of Frozen if you've seen it already, and if you haven't seen it, why not? What was holding you back? I'd be interested to hear that. Otherwise, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me if you do, and I will see you all next time. Stay warm out there.